the question? All right. Yeah, during the stretch during February when we started winning all these games in a row and everyone was talking about the streak, I would say it really was less about a team getting hot and more about a team that's just kind of learned how to win and it just kept getting better. And we talked a lot during the season about the process and working to the process, and that is that we become great on the little things and the details defensively, and we work on what's ailing us offensively, and we keep getting a little bit better and understand our roles and understand our strengths and weaknesses. And our guys have done a great job of that, and they're terrific competitors, and they genuinely care about each other. We have a very good locker room, and our guys care, and that's a big part of winning. I think we've got one sign hanging up in our locker room basically, and it says, it's about the stone cutter, and it says on the 100th blow the stone was broken, and it wasn't that blow but rather the 99 before. And that really is what we are about. We put that up in September, and you just keep, we try to, we're not overly complicated, we just make sure that fundamentally we're sharp on the defensive end, and we've got very talented players who have learned to play together, and they, like as I said, they care about each other, and that's very important.
Yeah. I'm sure you guys had goals at the beginning of the year. Was making the NCAA tournament one of the goals from day one?
Yeah, it was for us, and honestly, I can tell you, I don't remember exactly what we discussed at the beginning of the year. I know I remember talking about the conference championship, and certainly, and it may sound silly, but as a coaching staff, we talked about it quite a bit at the beginning. But once you get into the flow, again, it becomes part of the process, and we never said we need to win this game to win the conference or this thing to win the tournament or anything, other than the initial them understanding how regional rankings worked when they first came out, and I knew they would find out about them on their own, so I wanted to make sure we addressed that and they understood how all that went through. But for us, honestly, we talked about this in the interview in April. I mean, I think this was a goal for all of us. I don't know how seriously people took us necessarily, but I think that I'm sure in the heart of our hearts our guys believed.
Well, at what point in the year do you think they really realized they had a significant chance of making the tournament? Was there a turning point in the year at any point?
I think it just kind of creeps up on you. And I've been a part of this before. We had many teams. Very seldom are you that team that has everyone back and you're ranked in the top 20 and all these. There are a lot of factors that come together or don't come together that allow teams to make the jump or keep them from making the jump. And again, these guys play hard. They play really hard, and they compete all the time. I mean, there's just a team that does not give up, and a group of guys, as I said, who care about each other. And when you start winning some games, that confident winning leads to winning, and you get some confidence. And I would just say that it just, next thing you know, it was on top of them, and they did a great job of not getting distracted by the success.
Thanks. Can you talk a little bit about Trent's play and Marcus's play? Marcus has been playing really well lately, and been able to score more. What's been the difference for him?
I think one thing is teams tried to pick up and pressure us at some stage and pick him up full court, and he got some gaps and some lanes against some teams, Southern, some different spots, certainly. But he's finishing so well around the basket, and he shoots it at such a high percentage from perimeter on open shots. And you got to come out to him. He's great with the ball. His balance is exceptional. So when he gets in the lane, it's almost never a bad shot. It's almost always a balanced shot where his weight's underneath him. Maybe he's coming forward into the basket, but it's a high percentage shot. He understands that. He's got great fundamentals, and he makes teams pay for making those sort of mistakes. And Trent has, he's just an unbelievable scorer. He's been both these guys rebound very well and see the court very well, and he's a guy who can rise up and hit a jump shot like a Division I player. He can just go up over a great defender and knock it down, and that's and he can get to the rim, and so he's a handful. I'm sure he's very. I'm sure they look at when teams are putting together scouting reports. His name's probably mentioned a score or more times on any given sheet of paper. So it's quite a tandem, and they are both very unselfish. So that certainly helps our cause.
Any comments on the game against coming up against Florida Tech?
You know, it's both teams know each other very well, and obviously we split during the season, and I think that they've got 6 great offensive players who play well together, and they're a handful. I've said all year I thought they're the best 6 in the league offensively, and we'll have our handful.